Welcome to craftstickbending.com, where we will show you all sorts of new creations that are able to be built with the technology of how to bend craft sticks, stir sticks, tongue depressors, coffee sticks, popsicle sticks, yard sticks, rulers, just about anything you can think of. So what we have here is my workshop and some things that we've put together and built with craft sticks, which I'll get back to a lot of these in just a few minutes. I'll show you how to bend some craft sticks. This is for advanced bending. We'll get to that later. But what we've got here is hundreds of different kinds of bends I've done. And each one deserves its own technique. Gets its own technique. Each one has been soaked, bent around something, and then eventually all these will go into some kind of a project. Nice shot at the garbage there. Some right angle bends for a bridge. But what we've got here is just an assortment of things what we've built. This is let's say a CD holder out of some basic type bends. We have a cell phone holder, a razor holder. This kind of bend is a little more of a complex bend right here. Eventually we'd like to add batteries and craft sticks to develop robotics. So that's just an example of what we've done. Napkin holder, flower, little camera holder. We've got a nice little catapult here, which is real nice. Here we've got a watch holder. This is just an example of some right angle bends. Actually, this is a compound bend. We've got some play items that kids can build. Little wallet holder. Here is a little rocking swing event. But most interestingly to me is the ability to create a whole new line of bends and shapes for the Pinewood Derby cars. I think that's where it's really going to take off and hit some speed. Showing kids, I'll show you a bunch of other cars later. We also developed a trailer for the Pinewood Derby car. So you now can design and build your own types of trailers, which will have a link to a trailer manufacturer with examples on it. Here is an example of what I'm talking about for adding wires, batteries, motors together to be far more creative than ever before when you get involved with craft stick bending. But this will show you just a real little example of what you can do with craft sticks, motors. Imagine being able to bend craft sticks, add them with electronics and servos, and then come up with all sorts of new creations. I'll show you how to bend just about around anything. And it after it's dry, it stays in pretty good strength. The first step you need to know in craft stick bending, especially the basics, is that when you buy popsicle sticks, not all sticks are created equal. You can see in this example and then this example that some manufacturers aren't producing the same quality. I won't mention any names or brands because they may vary over time, and this will give them a chance to, you know, scorn anybody's product. But you'll buy one type of product and they'll be pretty good without any defects. You buy another one, you get some good and some bad. But these kinds of bends that I'm going to show you, even the basic bends, will pretty much all break these popsicle sticks because the grain is going sideways, there's knot holes, there's imperfections in the product itself. And that's true for the tongue depressors, but you have a far better chance. Here's a knot hole perfection, or knot hole imperfection. You have a far better chance in soaking these and bending these when they're straight and the grain is running the long way. This row right here, you'll be pretty hard pressed, no pun intended, to bend and shape those. So the first thing you want to do is soak your sticks. Probably 2 nights in a row usually works pretty good. I always have a batch going. Then you want to dry them off a little bit. So the bends I'll show you today are basic bends that we've bent around just a large lid. And one stick doesn't make much of anything, but when you get a bunch of bends built and stored and stockpiled, then the ability to make something creative is increased every time you add more sticks. So I'm constantly bending sticks. First thing you want to do, the second, third, whatever I'm on right now, is bend the popsicle stick. Work it back and forth, loosen up the fibers. That just kind of lets it know that it's about to be bent out of shape. Clamp it on the lid. And that's true for the tongue depressors as well. You know, the longer you soak it, there becomes a point where it doesn't matter if you soaked it, you know, another 12 days. It's pretty waterlogged by then. Now once you have it bent around whatever you're going to bend it around, and some projects will even be more complicated to bend tighter and tighter circles, and I'll show you how to do that later. Once your item is bent, you have to put it on a register for a while, I'd say overnight, and let it dry up real good. There's some yardsticks we bent. Soaked them in the tub for 4 or 5 days. But I'll show you how to bend craft sticks around pretty much anything. Like I said, once you start adding batteries, craft sticks, robots are possible. We can start to bend, create all sorts of things with the new technology of craft stick bending. Advanced videos, I'll show you how to shape and mold your own. You do come up with some pretty clever ways and contraptions to bend something. I can get this off here. This was not a test run before. Here we go. So you can get pretty clever on things to bend around. And once you get, 25 of these bends, then you can start creating all sorts of interesting projects. Hope you enjoy the video and the information, and look forward to hearing from you and seeing what your projects are like. Thanks. Bye.